See the mistake I made.
Pushrod Fury.
All right, Pushrod Fury is back, and we're going to work on the 73 XLH. Today is front master cylinder day, and we had everything kind of lined up for this. To get that master cylinder out, I just want to show you what, I've got it all taken apart, but I'll show you sort of how to get in there. Separated this into parts that are going to be replaced and reused. So clearly the master cylinder gets reused. I'm not going to polish this because the rest of the bike's going to kind of just keep its look, and don't want to necessarily have a polished aluminum master cylinder. So I cleaned some of the most of the gunk out, all of the gunk out. I think looks pretty clean. Anyway, cleaned it out. I took some 8,000 grit sandpaper and WD-40 and put it into the bore and rotated it because there was a little bit of funky in there. So anyway, that should be good to go. The cap gets reused. You know, this is the pivot that doesn't even go in there, but it goes there. And it's circlip and so on. This gets reused, but you replace the felt. So we're going to just take the felt off, put it in that bin. We'll clean this up in a minute. Things that have to be replaced are in this tray, and they all come in the kit. So the circlip, the felt I just showed you, part of the piston, and the spring and the plunger. The other thing is the brake switch is bad. I think it's bad because the washer that's required on this wasn't there, and when you don't have that washer in place, you end up crushing the switch and breaking it. So I have new ones coming. These switches are notoriously, the aftermarkets are notoriously garbage. I went through 6 last time on my other Sportster before finally I got it installed without breaking, and still it only lasted 500 miles and then it broke again. So these switches are garbage. I have a new one coming from the UK. Anyway, all right, let's get started here. We have everything cleaned for here. We want to put this all together. Here's my rebuild part kit from Sporty Parts. So get this guy opened up. There we go. Okay. Now what does this look like? This is in order over here. So it's going to look like this. I made a mistake. This does not get thrown away. So you have to reuse that part. If you need to wipe down. So we have these parts that are going to go all together. We have this little plunger filler that just sits in there. This is going to sit like that. And this all is going to end up in the master cylinder. So we just want to make sure everything is super clean and lubricated. And I use red rubber grease. And so does brake crafters. So anything that's rubber, we're just going to put a nice light coat of the red rubber grease on it. And that's going to protect it from, you know, any type of friction damage. So I'm just going to place that here for now. And then the O-ring also, we're going to give that a nice little coating of red rubber grease. Nice and light, like not too heavy, just nice little coating. There we go. Those are the only two parts that go in to the master cylinder that are rubber. This style circlip is good, and I'll just use a 1/4 inch driver. Okay, slide my tray over, put this like this, and start the assembly. So the first thing is put that on. I'm sure you don't want to see me. Oop, there we go. There's the O-ring. And that's going to face out, that divot. So you drop the spring in, this little cap. All right. And then this. And it's a little awkward because this faces the opposite direction where it wants to go. You're going to put the skirt in first. So you end up with that. And then this is going to go in. And when we put this piston in, we're going to retain it with this circlip. So I'm just going to place that there. I'm going to push in. I'm going to rotate a little bit. There we go. And then once that's in, oop, you can see the mistake I made. It's easier with the circlip on first. And push in. Okay. Before I let that up, I want to make sure it's seated. Clean my little poker out. So this is going to be challenging for me to show on camera. But you just heard it click, right? Yeah, and it's engaged. Good. I can let go. And you can see, I hope, that it's in there. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. Well, that's the extent of the rebuild. Now we have to put everything back together again. And we want to do that correctly. The challenge is I can put the, just want to make sure I'm doing this right. I can put the new brake light switch in without taking the lever off. So I can do that. So I'm not worried about that. I just want to make sure I put everything else back together in the correct order and go from there. So we are going to put this pusher with its spring, its washer, and its new felt. And that's going to drop down in there. But you have to kind of finagle it with this piece. All right, I'm going to put a light coating of grease on the pivot points. That should be all it takes. And it's going to go there. This is the part that I'm a little confused on sometimes. So this goes in. Put this down here. Right. And then we have, oops, that's not the direction I wanted to go. Oops. This is going to face up like that. Put your side facing up. It'll hold still. Okay. Oops, it doesn't go there yet. So we just want to make sure we have all of that together. It's a little, there we go. So now we can see everything's together. It should be. This little guy. Kind of wipe all the grease off because I'm going in the wrong direction. Give it a little light coating of grease. To here. There we go. You can see. There it is. Okay. Put this little circlip on. There we go. And that is a rebuilt master cylinder. And that covers a lot of years of Harleys. I think from 73 to 81 maybe, even longer. Who knows? But at least it goes from 73 to 79. I know that much. All right, well, that's the rebuild. We'll get it installed on the bike and make sure it functions. So we don't have the brake light switch yet, but that's not going to stop us from testing this. We will do though is slide that out of the way. And the switch gear is similar, but not 100% matched to the 79. It's very close. All right, well, that feels good. So the next thing is connect the brake line. And the reason we're going to do this is to pump the piston out of the old caliper. So we'll do that next.